Hello, sister. Welcome back to Unperfect with Alexi. This is the perfect place for unperfect people. And today I am so excited because guess what? We're doing Q&A. So usually on Sundays on Instagram, I will put in my stories and say, ask me literally anything. I have a reminder set in my phone. So every Sunday, it's like at noon, it says, hey, do you want to post and ask me anything? And if I'm in the mood, I will put it up there. And if I'm not, then I just won't. Yesterday, when I put it up, I was like, you know what would be a really good idea is to take all of the questions that I get on this Q&A and then I make a podcast episode about them so I can answer them a little bit more in depth. And you guys get to see a little bit more of my personality. I'm going to show you some of the answers to my questions. So with that being said, if you can watch this on YouTube, this episode would be the one to do that. Of course, if you're driving or in the shower, like I don't want your phone in there for you to watch. So if you must listen, that is great. Whatever your preferred mode is, but there will be a lot of visuals in this episode. So if you're a visual person like me, head over to YouTube, hit that subscribe button. Hi, welcome. You can actually see that I got ready for once today, which is so important because I really don't do that. You know that I hardly ever get ready. And to be honest, it's because I'm just freaking lazy. I have 2 kids. I have so much going on in my life. I'm like, I just don't want to get ready. And you know why? Number one, the absolute worst part is taking my makeup off at the end of the day. I absolutely despise it. I hate taking my makeup off. It sucks. It is my arch nemesis. It's honestly stupid that's the reason also, because it's literally just one extra cleanse that I do because I have to wash my face anyway at night. It's honestly just an excuse. If you're a lazy girl like me and you don't like putting makeup on, I see you, I feel you, I'm in this together. I really go back and forth between wanting to glow up and wear the makeup and do the extensions and like just look super cute all the time and just being a disheveled feral rat in my natural habitat. So you get what you get with me. I think you guys know that already. For my Seattle local girlies, make sure to listen till the end of the podcast for a special giveaway. First question. Maria asked how to do makeup with acne. I struggle so much and I can't go out to have fun because I can't do it. First and foremost, you can do it. It's just a skill that needs to be acquired. Okay, just like with anything else, if you haven't done it before, it's going to seem like a huge, scary, daunting task, but you can do it, I promise. So the way that I learned to do my makeup, like nobody taught me but YouTube. So I used to spend hours watching Jaclyn Hill, Jeffree Star, Manny MUA, Laura Lee, Tati. I used to watch all of them on YouTube, watch them do their makeup. They all have beginner how to do makeup videos, and doing your makeup with acne is very similar to doing your makeup without acne. There's just some other steps that I personally take to do my makeup with acne. So if you would be interested in me creating like a tutorial or some type of YouTube video where I teach you how I do my makeup with acne, let me know and I will definitely do that. I'm actually interested in getting more into YouTube and doing longer form content and just chatting like that. So let me know if you would like to see that from me. As you can see, I did my makeup for this video if you're watching it. And I think that I did pretty well, actually. I mean, I have some breakouts and I have some scarring, but overall, looking at my face on the video, I think it's pretty good. If you don't agree, don't tell me. I don't care. Anne asked, what's the best trilogy of books or movies ever? You guys are going to be shocked for me to tell you that I have never seen Harry Potter. I have seen Lord of the Rings, but I couldn't tell you what happens in there. Star Wars bore me to death. All of the trilogy books that you're probably thinking of, my mind hasn't been able to go there. I'm more of a nonfiction, autobiography, self-help type person. I don't understand why my brain works this way. If I had to give you one type of trilogy that I have gone through, it's the 50 Shades of Grey. And it's the movies, not even the books. If you have any good recommendations for me, please send them my way because I would love to branch out, but I can't do the science fiction type stuff that my mind already doesn't compute in that. So if you have something that's a little bit more realistic, easy read, but it gets you sucked in, let me know. Peyton asked, what's your favorite TV show and or movie? I'm going to be so basic with this. My favorite TV show is Friends of all time. That's like the comfort show that you can have on in the background. You can pick up at any episode and it's all going to be a good episode. Like when I first started watching Friends, I felt like it taught me how to be a better friend and be more supportive and be there. Like the comedy, Chandler, just incredible in there. I hated Ross's character because he's all whiny. But Friends is my diehard show. Rachel Green was my favorite. Phoebe is my spirit animal. Like, I feel like I have Phoebe energy, just like weird and like, whatever, don't care. But also I want to channel Rachel Green's looks and be the caretaker that Monica is. Like, I feel like every Friends character has something so incredible about them that it made me take little things about that character and want to apply them to my life because of how much I loved their characters, the show, everything. It was just such an amazing show. Movie-wise, my favorite movie of all time is probably Titanic. I cannot tell you how much my life changed as a child seeing Leonardo DiCaprio as his 19-year-old self saving Rose from the disaster of the Titanic and that love story and just everything. Like, if I wasn't 2 years old during the Leo craze, I'm the one who restarted it back in 2006. Okay, I revived that. Huge Leo stan. Not in 2024, I wouldn't say, because I think I'm just a little too old for him now at 27, but you know. And James Cameron, who's the director of Titanic, he is my favorite director of all time. He is just so smart. Every detail, every step, like the story was just so beautifully written and it wasn't confusing. You know, when you watch those movies and you're like, this is so weird. Like the Elvis movie that came out last year, I watched it on Netflix because it's on there now. And me and my husband were watching it and I'm like, I'm honestly just so confused. Like the way that they set out the scenes and the plot of the movie, I'm like, this is really extremely hard to follow. But James Cameron, his directing, Titanic, it's just money for me. The emotions, I want to be Rose. Lisa asked, what is your current skincare routine? And I'm so glad you asked. So this is going to be where more the visual part is, but I will still read out everything. So I'm going to start with my morning skincare routine and then I will show you my night routine. In the morning, I will start with the Ultra Gentle Cleanser by Face Reality. My next step after that is the Moisture Balance Toner, and this is for dehydrated skin, which mine is. Then, after the toner, I've been using Bubble's Morning Rays Brightening Eye Cream. I love me a good brightening eye cream in the morning. After that dries, then I will put on the 11% L Mandelic Serum by Face Reality Skincare, and then one of my favorite moisturizers in the world, the Cran Peptide Cream by Face Reality. As you guys know, Face Reality has literally saved my skin. I am not currently working with them, but they really are that great. I would be honored to work with them again and partner with them again, but I truly, truly, truly just love their products. And I am not even saying that because I'm being paid. I'm saying that because they truly do work. For PM skincare routine, it looks similar to the morning in the beginning because we start with the Ultra Gentle Cleanser again, and then we move into the Moisture Balance Toner again. Here is where it differs at night. My esthetician / best friend, McKaylee, she has me rotating through 5% Acne Med by Face Reality one night, and then the next night using the Vitamin A Corrective Serum. In other words, she'll have me use a retinol the next night. So I'll go back and forth between benzoyl peroxide and retinol. And then I'll also use the Clear Stem Bright Eyes Gel at night for my eye gel. Just getting in a routine really helps me mentally, spiritually, physically, and emotionally. And now this is like second nature. I can just list them all off. Brandy asked, what is your favorite foundation? This foundation, the Glowy Super Skin Foundation, I wear shade 9, is my absolute favorite foundation. That is what I am wearing on my skin right now. As you can see, my skin looks really good. It looks not overly oily, but it looks like a true second skin on me. This is my favorite foundation that I have found so far. Say, if you see this, let's work together, baby, because I scream your praises from the rooftop already. It's that good. Next question. How did you grow your Instagram? Well, this is a great question, and I want to be 100% real and frank with you guys. I started my Instagram account in 2020, and it was under Up West Social, my social media marketing thing that I was doing after I had my son. About a year later, I turned it more into my personal brand account, which I was still doing like PR and consulting and all these other little things. But once I really honed in on who I was and started diving deep into my personal brand without trying to sell anything, and I started letting people in my personality and my routines and my life, showing them behind the scenes, pulling back the curtain, if you will, on who I am and what this personal brand is, that's when I started growing like crazy. So here's some tips that you can use if you want to grow on social media from my little analytical strategic brain. Number one, find your consistency. I know everybody says stay consistent, but my consistency is inconsistent. Like I am consistently inconsistent and I just have to live with that. My life's kind of crazy. I got 2 kids. I got pets. I got a husband. I got a dad I take care of. I have other obligations, maintaining a social life. Like, yes, I work on social media, but I don't want social media to completely consume me, because if you work on social media, you know that it can be really mentally challenging at times. So I try to be consistently inconsistent. But when I do show up, it's out of a place of passion. It's not out of a place of like necessity, like I have to be here. I'm like, no, I want to be here today. So that's why a lot of the content you'll see, it can be random, but it all stems back to me and my personal brand and what I'm talking about and things that I've learned that could hopefully help other people. Also engaging with my audience, like doing this type of thing where we're doing a Q&A. I will typically answer all my Q&A questions on my Instagram stories, and that helps. But if you're in the infancy of growing your page and building it, you have to just keep going. You cannot quit. And I think that's the reason why some people are successful and other people aren't, is because we have this expectation in our mind of we have to reach this certain milestone by this certain date, or we have to get this amount of engagement on this one post. And if it doesn't perform that way, then we're like, well, we start lying to ourselves and telling ourselves that, oh, we're not good enough. This isn't great enough. People actually don't want to hear what I have to say. I'm actually not important, which is not the truth at all. You have to think about it from a zoomed out approach of how many people are posting on social media. So yes, the more you post, the more opportunity there is for people to see you, but also it's being intentional with the time that you're spending on social media. It's engaging with other accounts. It is engaging with your audience, responding to comments, responding to DMs, which if I haven't responded to your DM yet, I am working on it. I promise I will get there on my next inspired creativity moment. Also, not being afraid to try new things. Don't put yourself in such a niche, confined box that you feel like you have to stay doing the exact same 3 types of that you're doing just the same 3 types of content every single time you post. Like, get creative, think outside of the box, do new things, like push yourself out of your comfort zone. That's where you're going to see the most rewards, and just keep at it. Just keep going, because the only way you're going to fail is if you quit. Maria asked, how is the new face reality cleanser? I actually tried that, and I will be posting a video on my TikTok and my Instagram, so stay tuned for that. Johnny asked, how is your dad? If you guys are OG followers of mine, especially on TikTok, you know that I documented my dad's entire journey after he had a stroke. For a little bit of context, he had a stroke in August of 2020. This is the 2nd stroke that he's had in his life. This stroke killed over a fist size of his brain, like the whole side of his brain. I think it was he had the stroke in his left brain, I believe, which affects your right side, which is so crazy. Like, your left brain affects your right and your right affects your left. Isn't that weird? Anyway, it affected his right side. He was left with apraxia, aphasia. The doctor in the hospital, about 48 hours after him being in with the stroke, told me that I should start thinking about hospice, because my dad would never be able to talk, walk, speak, think, comprehend again. And I remember feeling so devastated in that moment of like, oh my gosh, am I going to lose my dad? And this was during COVID, so I wasn't able to go in and see him. I wasn't able to be in the hospital. But as we were FaceTiming, because that was the only way we could communicate, I would see these little like micro movements. Like, he would lift his hand up on the affected side and I'd be like, Dad, that is amazing. Are you freaking kidding me? And so the second that I got to see him, I started recording this, because I'm like, you know what? If this can help one person recognize they have a stroke, understand what stroke victims deal with, I'm posting about it. So I shared his entire journey while he was in inpatient rehab and a little bit afterward. And honestly, you guys were so amazing. Like, you paid his medical bills. We started a GoFundMe, and my TikTok audience raised enough to pay his medical bills. I've never seen my dad cry from the act of kindness from a community. It was so awesome. I am so happy to say my dad is doing amazing. He still has the apraxia and aphasia. I am still legally his caregiver. Like, I still have to drive him. His eyesight has been affected from the stroke. Word searching is pretty hard for him. Like, he knows what he wants to say in his brain, but putting the words together is really hard. So it's definitely patience. We play a lot of charades, but I'm just so happy that I have my dad with me. And I feel like our relationship is better than it's ever been. Like, we have this really strong bond that nobody could ever break. Like, I remember growing up, I would always think, like, why couldn't I just have like a normal dad? But I'm so glad that the cards fell where they did, because I just feel so blessed that I am where I am with my dad, and he is where he is. Like, he is so much more patient, so much more calm. I mean, he has his good and bad days just like we all do, but that man is walking 3 miles every single day. He is the kindest, most giving person I've ever met. Like, my kids will go over there and he will go shopping once a month on his fixed income and get all his groceries. And my kids will go over every day, and he will gladly just give them a treat or a bag of chips or a cookie or whatever he has, because he's just that kind of person. He's just so giving and so kind. And I'm just so happy he's here. And you know what? One day I should do a podcast with him. If you want to hear that, let me know. Steph asked, can you tell us more about EMDR therapy? If you are in traditional talk therapy and you feel like it is not doing enough for you, I recommend finding someone who is EMDR certified, because it is mind-blowing, just the breakthroughs I've had in 3 sessions of doing it. So what EMDR stands for is it's eye movement, desensitization, and reprocessing. So essentially what that looks like, if you think of the most traumatic event in your life, there's going to be a physical, visceral response, whether it be like a tight feeling in your gut, a choked up, you feel a little bit nauseous, your chest, your heart starts pounding. We all have something where we get a visceral response from a thought or a feeling or an emotion. So what EMDR does is it kind of takes the sting out of that event. In the 3 sessions of EMDR that I have had, I am quite literally mind blown at just the amount of awareness that unlocks during these sessions. And it feels like a cuckoo woo-woo type of therapy, because all you're doing is watching a ball or a finger go left and right on the screen. And you're thinking about that feeling or that sensation or that traumatic experience or that story you're telling yourself. You're just thinking about it and watching this go left and right. And then all of these feelings, these thoughts, these emotions, they bubble up to the surface. But afterward, it feels like they're a lot less painful. So for example, I have this feeling of I'm not good enough and nothing that I say matters. When I was it was either 1st or 3rd grade, I remember trying to correct somebody and saying batter isn't a word. Like, your drink is badder than mine. I'm like, batter's not a word. As we know, as you get older and as the years go by, memories change. But the vision and the memory that I had that was affecting me was that the entire class was like, batter is a word. I had somebody motioning like cake batter. I had somebody motioning like a batter on the baseball field. And I'm like, no, like batter, like more bad than, batter is not a word. But the whole class seemingly was against me. Like, I have this visual where I'm sitting here at that desk that you open and your pens are inside of it. And the whole class just in like a horseshoe around me being like, no, you're wrong, you're dumb. And that affected me for so long. And I know it sounds so silly and insignificant, but could you imagine as a collective in society if we went back to those seemingly small, insignificant moments? Because those things in our adolescence shape who we become in the future. They shape how we treat ourselves. They shape how we talk to ourselves. They shape how we see the world. They shape how we operate in the world. And we don't even know it. because we spend most of our adulthood projecting our inner bullshit onto other people because it's too painful to look in the mirror. So EMDR has really helped. I think the biggest thing it has helped with is open that awareness within me of like, this is the story that I'm telling myself. This is the feeling. This is the pain. This is the emotion. A lot of what I'm working on now is the parts. I've noticed that in general, I'm a very gray thinker. I'm always in a gray area. I can go down the conspiracy route. I can give people the benefit of the doubt and maybe why they did this. I can understand why people are the way they are. I understand why I am the way I am. I get stuck between the feelings and the logistics of it. And a lot of times I shove down the feeling because I feel like I shouldn't be feeling those things. So that's something I'm working on in EMDR. But highly, highly, highly recommend scheduling an EMDR session and finding a good therapist. It has been proven in a blind placebo study to be more effective than Prozac, which is an anti-anxiety medication. So that's all I'm saying on that. If you have questions about EMDR, DM me on Instagram. I'd love to chat about it because I love all things psychology. Next question. Elena asked, how are you treating your acne cysts? I just got one today and don't know what to do. First things first, if you have a big fat cyst that is cranking your style, that is getting in your way of having a good day, use a spot treatment. I really like the sulfur spot treatment from Face Reality Skincare, and I do not like using pimple patches on cysts. You know why? Because a beautiful, amazing esthetician named Dakota Tyreen, she told me that if you put a pimple patch on a cyst, the pimple patch does not have enough surface area to soak up the cyst. So you could be getting bacteria back in the cyst. So the best thing to do is let it air out, but put a spot treatment over this. Sulfur is a great spot treatment. If you don't want to buy the Face Reality one, I'm sure you can go on Amazon and get like 100% pure sulfur that you can put on. Then the third thing is make sure during that time that you are having a lot of nutrient dense foods. So try to eat whole foods like fruits, vegetables, leaner meats. Try to cut out the inflammatory things as much as possible, like processed sugar, inflammatory oils, and drink lots and lots of water. Water is game changing when it comes to your breakouts, okay? It helps your body flush and rid of toxins. The other thing I would recommend is doing a castor oil pack at night. So that is getting castor oil, a wool cloth, putting it on your liver, which is on your right side, right under your titty, to the right of your rib cage under your arm. So that would be a safe place to do it. And then put a heating pad over it. Do that for 30 minutes to an hour, and that will help tell your body, hey, we need to send some blood flow here and let things start get ripping and moving. Your liver accounts for 300 different processes in your body, including processing your hormones. So make sure your liver is doing good and being taken care of. If you have a fat cyst, also cut the alcohol until it goes away or indefinitely, like I did, because alcohol is treated as a poison. It's prioritized in your body. It is water and fat soluble, and it's an empty calorie. It's empty carbs. Your body is like, hey, there's poison in our body, so we have to prioritize healing this over anything on your skin. So just remember that. You got this, and you can do it holistically. And I see that another question was asked on here relating to this. Have you ever got a Kenalog injection for cystic acne? I have. The week of my wedding, I had so many cystic acne breakouts that I went into the dermatologist and had them shoot up those cysts with Kenalog. That is a great option if you are looking to get rid of your cyst fast because you're on a timeline or a deadline. But my thought process is, if you can treat it from a holistic standpoint and not 100% depend on dermatologists and injections and pharmaceuticals, and you can look for the root cause of what is going on in your body to give you the symptom of acne and cysts, that will help you in the long run. Okay, because all acne is a symptom of something that's going on in your body. Your body is crying out for help. It's trying to get your attention. And a lot of the times what we do is when we see that pimple or that cyst show up, we're like, got to get rid of it immediately, instead of, okay, why am I breaking out? Why is this cyst here? Why did this show up? And it could be different for everybody. And that's why I am such a strong advocate of everybody doing their own research, talking to a dermatologist, then doing their own research, then crowdsourcing information from the community, and then making an informed opinion. I think that is true informed consent right there. But everybody's body is different. And that's why it's important to trust your intuition. Sky asked, did your skin purge with the acne peels? I don't feel like it did for me. I know for some people it does, and acne and skin is so different for everybody. But overall, I felt like my acne was already at its worst. I couldn't blame the peels because if anything, the peels were making my skin look better. So I think that any acne I had that came up after the peel was more of something that was coming to the surface because of, when you're doing a peel, you're taking a little layer of your skin off. Like you're doing a deep exfoliation. So it was already bound to come up anyway. The peel just expedited that process. But overall, I felt really glowy and really dewy and very nice. Sugar Mommy asked, what sunscreen do you use? I really love Clear Stem's You Are Sunshine sunscreen because it has a little tint to it. And so it looks like a tinted moisturizer that has SPF in it. And it's 21% zinc oxide, which I like mineral sunscreens better than chemical sunscreens. And then they also have a brush on mineral powder sunscreen, which you could put on, which is so tiny and it's cute and it fits in your pocket. So you could use it. You could just keep it in your purse and keep reapplying it. I love those two. Grace asked, how do you manage stress levels? Please send help. I'm in the middle of exam season. Girl, I feel you. It can be so hard when you have these deadlines and these things that you have to do, like you cannot get away with not doing them. But I think what's most important is when you're in that season of stress and busy is to take some time for yourself, like create routines that will help you be less stressed in the day. And so you're also taking care of yourself. I know for me, when I feel the most stressed out is when I can't take care of myself. So that's why I have to have a morning and an evening routine. The morning, that's my skincare, that's the brushing the teeth, that's the doing all the things, not always getting ready, as you guys know. Skincare and oral care, those two things help me feel so much better. Also, if you don't brush your teeth regularly, here's a little side note that I think a lot of people may not know. But if you develop gum disease, you're twice as likely to have a heart attack or a stroke. And think about it. All that plaque sitting in your soft tissue that goes directly to your bloodstream. Think about that. My dad did not take care of his teeth and he's had 2 strokes and the last one almost killed him. So think about that. I'm going to give you some rapid fire tips on how to manage stress in general. Number 1, cut out the coffee. Coffee increases your cortisol levels, which makes your body feel more stressed in general. That is proven. So if you can, give yourself a placebo of decaf and see how you do there, or do something lighter that's more of like a green tea or a black tea or a London fog or something like that. I used to be a very reactive person, which would also make me stressed out because my body immediately goes into like fight or flight. One thing that you could do before a stressful situation is do a series of breath work. So that's like box breathing. Let's do one together. So we're going to breathe in for 4. Hold it at the top for 4. Exhale for 4. And then hold it at the bottom for 4 without breathing in. And then repeat. Breathe in for 4. Hold for 4. Exhale for 4. Hold at the bottom for 4. And just keep doing that until you feel a little bit more calm. Setting routines and rituals in general, I feel like very much helps. So your body kind of knows what to look forward to. Also, working out, if you can even get in like a 30-minute walk outside, your body will thank you for it and it will help burn off some of that energy. Yoga or a nighttime meditation, also extremely helpful. I feel like I'm the queen of stress. Like I have so much going on in my life at all times. Planning tonight, that helps a ton. Like making a list of every single thing that's floating around in your brain that you need to do that stresses you out. Just getting it onto paper, that helps. But also writing in a journal helps because then it's not all of those thoughts and feelings aren't living in your brain. They are out on paper. Create a list. And on that to-do list of everything you have to do, the first item you should complete is the quickest item to complete. So if you have like 30 things on your to-do list, do the one that you can complete within a minute or 2. That will start that snowball feeling of like, I got this. This is amazing. I can do anything I set my mind to. There are so many different things that we could do to manage stress. If you want a more in-depth episode of this, let me know because I could definitely write down every single thing that I do and then do a longer winded episode on managing stress because I feel like with cutting out alcohol and THC for the most part, over the last few months, eye-opening on how I manage stress, and then now the different ways that I manage it without substances. Holly asked, what was the tanning outcome? Can we be more friends? I need more mom friends, and it's so hard in Seattle. Yes, Holly, we can be best friends. Let's hang out. Let's get our kids together and go on a play date, go to the park or something. The tanning outcome, I really loved my tan. I felt like there was a few spots on my like ankles and feet that I did not do the best with, but it was my first time, so I got to give myself a little grace. But overall, I felt like the tan was very even and it looked very natural. I'm actually going to get a spray tan today because on Thursday this week, I am leaving for the Waste Management Open and I want to look a little bit bronzed. So I'm really excited to have that done. And I'm going to obviously do a vlog of me getting a spray tan so you guys can see what that looks like behind the scenes. But yeah, very excited for that. Maybe you can come with us next year, Holly. We'll do a little kidless vacation together. That is all the questions that I have for today. Thank you so much for being here and coming back week after week and listening. And I just love you guys so much. And I'm so thankful that you come back week after week and that you even have questions for me. Like if I would have posted asked me literally anything 2 years ago, I think I would have gotten like maybe 2 questions on here. To even get 15 questions on here, I'm like, thank you. Thank you for even caring what I have to say. It really does mean the world to me, and I'm excited to blow this podcast out of the water, make it become something so much bigger, reach more people with it, and I can only do that with the help of you guys. So this is your reminder, as I do every episode, make sure to hit subscribe, to leave 5 stars, and if you're on Apple, leave a review with words. I love reading them. You guys, it honestly makes my day. Hearing what you love about the podcast and what resonates with you, like it truly gives me such great feedback on what direction I should keep going in. Okay, now it's time to discuss the giveaway. I am so excited to be promoting this giveaway to my podcast audience only. So if you are local to the Seattle area, I'm giving away 2 tickets to the Seattle Business Babes event that is happening on February 27th at 415 Westlake. I cannot wait. One of my besties, Alicia, is hosting this event. So what better way to give back than to give away 2 tickets to this event to a business babe and her biz bestie? All you have to do to enter is follow me on Instagram, follow Seattle Business Babes on Instagram, and take a screenshot of you listening to this episode and tag me on your Instagram stories. And that is literally it. I am so excited and I cannot wait to meet you guys in person. You bet your ass I will be there. It's going to be the best day ever. There's going to be speakers, networking, food, beverages, local vendors, and my girl Alicia always has a surprise up her sleeve. So I am excited to see you guys there. I cannot wait to squeeze you all, see you all in person. If you're not Seattle local, I have another meetup planned for this year, so stay tuned for that. I love you guys so much. Thank you again for being here, and I will see you next Tuesday.